Hello dear viewers and welcome to another video from this here old dwarf. I hope this finds you well. Today we'll be talking about the video game Chrous. Chrous is a three-dimensional space combat and adventure game developed by Fish Labs and published by Deep Silver, released in December of 2021. This is the second game I have covered involving flying ships around in space and shooting things. If you like these sorts of games, then I'll check out the video on Everspace linked on the screen now. It is that time in the video, and if I may, could I remind you that should you deem me worthy, please subscribe to the channel for more videos, perhaps give a like and a comment on your thoughts about this and similar games. Right, back to the video. Growing up, I played the Star Fox game series on Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64, games involving flying a space fighter in third person, shooting all the bad guys. They were great fun games with their own stories unfolding as you play. Since then, there was, from what I can remember at least, a bit of a lull in my playing of spaceship combat games until I played Everspace several months ago. Is there a point to this? Yes, there is, I think. Basically, I hadn't played a proper space action shooter type game for a long time until playing the aforementioned Everspace. With this new title Chrous, my interest in playing such games has grown to where I will keep an eye out for any that might interest me. So yes, I'm into this genre now and will keep a lookout for similar games. And yes, at the time of this video, Everspace 2 has been released. So I'll probably check that out soon. Chrous has a wonderful start menu. You can continue. You can load a game, start a new one if you fancy, look at all those settings deep inside the settings setting, look at for credits should you wish to look at the credits, and simply you can quit. In Chrous, you take on the role of Nara, a former elite pilot for the dark cult known as the Circle. She is now a fugitive from that evil organisation on a journey to try and redeem herself for all the wrongs she has wrought. In your galactic mission, you pilot the sentient space fighter known as Forcer, who has formidable capabilities to employ against evilry and a personality to wax philosophical. Graphically, Chrous is quite a visual delight. The spaceships flying about, the weapons fired, the explosions all look very nice for a game with modern graphics. Your ship, as it flies through space, looks elegant, and generally it's fun just to be flying about and shooting stuff. Perhaps if the player's ship looked naff as it flew around or performed manoeuvres, that would likely have a detrimental effect on your play, as this is what you'll be looking at the whole game, but it's certainly not a concern here. As you progress through the game, from system to system, you'll come across different biomes that have been constructed with care and thought by the developers. There are asteroid fields, lightning storms, great stretches of ice and weird, esoteric rifts, just to name a few, of all the different backdrops to your space adventures. The sound is also good quality here, with the appropriate sounds and noises for all the different effects in the game. The sound of the Gatling guns or the lasers as you fire them at enemy ships sounds impactful and is satisfying. The music is appropriately space-like and dramatic when it needs to be. All of the dialogue, and there is a lot of dialogue dear viewers, is fully voiced, and voiced well, I have to say. The cast of characters, even for side quest NPCs, I would say are more than enough for the roles. Nara and Forcer are on the most part wonderfully performed, and as they do most of the conversing in game, is a real win. There is clearly a lot of effort being put into the soundscape of this game. You begin the game in a more standard fighter ship, not unlocking Forcer until a little while into the first act. The galaxy is divided into different sectors that you will gradually unlock through play, with you initially beginning with the starting area. You will work with local militia/resistance people, led by a man named Sav, completing tasks to further the story, but also to acquire upgrades for your ship and credits to be spent on other equipment. The quests vary, from simple seek and destroy to escorts, item collection and opportunities to test your flying skills. I like to pew-pew things, so I generally enjoy the missions and quests that involve taking down enemy ships. The activities are varied enough that you don't do too much of the same thing for too long, which is good. The map for each sector will display useful information like points of interest and quests you have yet to investigate. As well as following the main story, I would recommend completing side missions as they can reward you with powerful ship upgrades that you will need on your adventure. So, combat. Let's talk about combat. Combat, said Mr. Wombat. Combat in Chrous is good fun, and that in itself is good. Generally, you'll be embroiled in dogfighting with cult ships, pirates, and the sinister faceless. You will use your ship to maneuver into position, avoiding other ships' weapon fire before aiming your own munitions at them. Your ship starts just with Gatling guns that are kind of jack-of-all-trade weapons, alright at doing damage to shields, armour and hull, but as you progress you will unlock lasers, which can take down shields effectively, while missiles can be employed to destroy enemy armour. You will find additional weapons as you progress through the game, though sometimes a weapon will not be a straight-up superior upgrade, but better at certain aspects like reload speed or fire rate. Your health and shields can also be upgraded through the use of hull or shield fragments, requiring 3 of each for a single upgrade. Besides this, your ship has 3 equipment slots for passive boons and utility equipment. There is quite an array of stuff to choose from, including things like boosts to speed, weapon damage, recharge speed, and increasing the power of your rights. And the rights, yes. In Chrous, along with the more conventional weaponry and systems, it introduces the use of special abilities which Nora can perform, known as rights. These are essentially magic spells that you can cast that will help out on various aspects of the game. There is a right of the senses that will send out a pulse around you, highlighting quest objectives and other points of interest, like a box of credits or an upgrade floating in space. You will be using this right a lot. Then there is the Storm Right, which is like a storm bolt of energy that you can use to remove shields from and disable enemy ships. Another fun skill is the Right of the Hunt, which allows you to teleport right behind a given ship, setting yourself up to take them down. These spells and others are unlocked as you progress through the main campaign. Another feature of the game is drifting, which allows Nora and Forcer to perform physics-defying manoeuvres like dramatic turns in space. This is good fun, allowing you to fly at full speed towards something and then performing a death-defying turnaround to avoid any collision. This allows you to outmaneuver enemy ships and avoid their weapons fire. Along with boosting your ship and the various rights you can enact, the drifting adds to what is a satisfying experience while piloting your ship. As you progress through the game, along with upgrades to your ship, you also have the Mastery system. This is a list of achievements to achieve that when completed will add passive buffs to Nara and Forcer. It isn't anything like levelling up with skills and such, but you slowly become more powerful, especially using your favourite skills and spells. Obviously something has to be said of the story. The story in this game is detailed and far-reaching. During and after most quests you perform during gameplay will involve a lot of dialogue between Nara and Forcer or any other non-player characters. There are subplots and stories being told besides the main one, like the story of siblings getting into various forms of trouble, or the journey of different resistance leaders. It all ties in with the main story, of course. One thing I would say is that there is a lot of story going on. You have to pay close attention to follow all that is happening. At times I had lost the story thread and wasn't entirely sure why we were doing certain things. Perhaps it's just me, but it did feel a little bit verbose at times. Overall though, my impression of this game is a very positive one. The main story is interesting and besides the sheer amount of dialogue, provides us with a fulfilling adventure. The control of your ship with the various ways to upgrade it in the way we fancy is really good fun. It feels satisfying to fly around and fight baddies, and that of course is most important. I played the game on hard, which provided quite a challenge at times with me dying a lot during certain encounters. This is not to say that the combat is really difficult, but if you don't make use of all your special powers and skills then you might struggle. Of course I would say the normal difficulty would be just as fun. There are 1 or 2 aspects of gameplay that were not really up my street, but I understand their inclusion. These would be things like hitting a number of locks within a certain period to unlock force fields and such, which could get frustrating because I am bad at video games. There are some spectacle events which are very cool, like fleet battles where you will take on large ships of the enemy, having to destroy various systems on them before you could completely destroy them. These times would evoke thoughts of trench runs in Star Wars or something similar, with you flying through narrow sections of the ship in order to take out key systems. It's good fun. So obviously I like this game a lot. The world building, the controls, the space fighting and the story are all well crafted and enjoyable to experience. If you're looking for a spaceship fighting game, then I would certainly check this out. Without all the story events, there exists a solid space combat game that anyone not interested in all the talking would still enjoy. I bought the game on sale on Steam and it was well worth the money. It is worth full price purchase and very much worth it indeed if you can get it on sale. Go check it out. And there we go, dear viewers, another video emanating from the ancient hold of our ancestors. Thanks for watching until the end, I do appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you next time.